No student was allowed outside the compound without special permission. The school gates were locked tightly, guarded by stern security men, and every night Mrs. Nadia, the students' coordinator, would patrol the dormitories like a warden. Life inside was tough. Amanda, Natalie, and Natasha had come from poor families. Their uniforms were faded, their shoes worn out, and they often had to borrow toiletries from others. Meanwhile, Nyla was the envy of every girl in school. She had designer lotions, expensive weaves, fancy undergarments, and even chocolates and pizza delivered in discreet packages. It was said her mysterious uncle sent her money every week, and that she had connections abroad. Every day, the three girls would sit near the window in their shared dormitory room and gaze longingly at the world beyond the fence, at the busy streets, colorful lights, loud music from nearby parties, and girls their age walking freely without having to cram chemistry formulas. Amanda often sighed, "If only I was out there, just one night to enjoy the world beyond books." One chilly morning, Amanda woke up to use the bathroom and noticed something strange. Nyla's bed was empty. She waited for a few minutes in silence, pretending to be asleep. Then, like a shadow in the mist, Nyla jumped over the dormitory window from outside, dressed in a skimpy red miniskirt and heels. Her makeup was smudged, and she looked exhausted. Amanda sat up, wide-eyed. "Where are you coming from dressed like that?" she whispered in shock. Nyla paused, rolled her eyes, and hissed, "Mind your business," before walking past Amanda and collapsing on her bed without another word. Amanda couldn't keep it to herself. That evening, as the girls sat under the mango tree during prep break, she spilled everything to Natalie and Natasha. "You're lying!" Natasha exclaimed. "I swear!" She jumped in through the window. She was dressed like those party girls we see in music videos. Amanda insisted. Natalie's eyes widened. "So that's where she's been getting all that money from." Later that evening, Nyla, obviously suspicious and worried, approached the trio in their corner of the dormitory. "I know you saw me," she said, staring at Amanda. Amanda folded her arms. "Are you going to explain, or do you want me to report you to Mrs. Nadia?" Nyla sighed deeply. "Look, I'm not gonna lie. That's how I've been surviving. I sneak out, I make money, a lot of it." Amanda leaned forward. "Doing what exactly?" "You'll find out if you come with me tonight," Nyla smirked. "You'll all make a lot of money." Amanda's curiosity was already burning. "Really? Can we come with you tonight?" "Yes," Nyla confirmed. "Let's go make money." Natalie and Natasha exchanged uneasy glances. "Wait, what do we have to do?" Natasha asked. Amanda cut in quickly. "You two are so slow. Don't ruin this for us. Nyla has been making money for months. We've been stuck here broke and miserable." Natalie whispered. "Amanda, this doesn't feel right. We don't even know what she's doing." But Amanda was already swept away by the promise of wealth and freedom. That night, the girls went to bed early. But at exactly 1:30 a.m., Amanda and Nyla woke up silently, while Natalie and Natasha pretended to sleep but listened carefully. Nyla pulled out a short, tight black dress from her suitcase and tossed it to Amanda. "Put this on." Amanda hesitated for a second before changing. They crept through the dormitory, jumped over the fence, and disappeared into the night. A shiny black car was waiting outside. Inside were three old, wealthy-looking men. Amanda paused. "Are you sure about this?" she whispered. "Get in," Nyla replied. "We're about to change our lives." Amanda had never seen such luxury in her life. As the sleek black car pulled into the driveway of a massive mansion, her heart pounded. The car doors opened, and the three old men smiled at Nyla and Amanda like they had been expecting them. "Welcome back, Nyla," one said with a smirk. "And this must be the new one." Amanda hesitated at the steps, her feet frozen. "Nyla, are you sure about this?" Nyla, now completely in character, laughed gently. "Relax, Amanda. We're going to make a lot of money tonight. This is where I've been coming. These men are powerful, rich. Just be friendly, smile, and do what they say." Amanda swallowed her nerves and followed her inside. Women in short dresses and high heels walked past them, laughing and sipping wine. They were ushered into a lavish lounge with red velvet couches. A waiter appeared with drinks. Amanda declined, but Nyla took hers confidently. Then the questions began. "How old are you?" One man asked Amanda while sipping whiskey. 16, she said nervously. "She's mature for her age," Nyla added quickly. "Very smart and very obedient." The men chuckled. Later, one of them stood and stretched. So, who's taking the new one tonight? Amanda froze, looking at Nyla. Nyla simply smiled and whispered, Just follow him. Trust me. You'll thank me tomorrow. Amanda, blinded by desperation for money, did what she never thought she would do. She was led into one of the luxurious rooms where she was sexually exploited by one of the men. She closed her eyes and told herself it was only one night as the man enjoyed himself. Afterward, she returned to the lounge, where Nyla also appeared, hair slightly messed up, dress clinging to her body. The men were pleased. They handed each girl a stack of cash that looked like something out of a movie. $5,000 each, one man smiled. And if you wait a little longer, we'll double it. Amanda couldn't believe it. Her hands trembled as she touched the money. Is this real? It's yours, said another man. You girls just stay for a bit longer. Relax. We'll bring more drinks. Amanda hesitated, but looked at Nyla, who nodded confidently. They sat. Minutes later, drinks were served, this time in glittering glasses with fruit garnishes. Amanda still felt uneasy, but gave in, sipping the sweet, chilled liquid. That's the last thing she remembered. Meanwhile, back at school, Natalie and Natasha lay awake in their beds, their hearts heavy. They're not back yet, Natasha whispered. It's almost 4 a.m. I told you this was a bad idea, Natalie replied. Amanda didn't listen. Something about this Nyla girl has always felt strange. Morning came, and the beds were still empty. By evening, panic had set in. Amanda and Nyla were still missing. The school was already tense. Mrs. Vinley, Nadia was strict and observant. When she came into the dorm for her usual night patrol, she immediately noticed the empty beds. Where are Amanda and Nyla? She asked sternly. No one answered. Natalie and Natasha looked at each other. Should they tell? But they were scared for their friends and scared of being punished themselves. Back at the mansion, Amanda slowly opened her eyes. Her head throbbed. Her vision was blurry. She looked around. The lounge was empty. Nyla lay next to her on the couch, also unconscious. What happened? She mumbled. A dark voice echoed from the hallway. They're awake. 3 men walked in slowly, clapping their hands. Well, our beautiful little sacrifices are finally ready. Amanda's heart jumped. Sacrifices? She whispered, sitting up. The men laughed. Yes, one of them said coldly. You didn't think you could take our money and walk out, did you? That was just part of the ritual. Amanda looked at Nyla, who was now waking up too. Confused and terrified, Nyla tried to stand, but her body was weak. Why? Why are you doing this? She stammered. To become richer, one man said with a grin. You girls are our offering. We needed 2 pure ones this year, and you came willingly. Amanda screamed, but her voice echoed into silence. No one could hear them now. Back at school, tension had gripped the school like a cold, creeping fog. Amanda and Nyla had now been missing for over 2 days. Whispers floated across dormitories. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said they had run away to get married, others that they had been expelled in secret. But Natalie and Natasha knew the truth, or at least part of it. We have to say something, Natalie said finally. It's gone too far. Natasha was shaking. We'll get expelled. Better expelled than knowing our friends are in danger and doing nothing. That evening, they approached Mrs. Nadia's office with trembling hands and pounding hearts. The students' coordinator stared at them with suspicion as they hesitated in the doorway. Yes, speak, she said sternly. Natasha broke first. Amanda and Nyla, they snuck out of the school. Mrs. Nadia's eyes narrowed. When? 2 nights ago, around 1:30 a.m., we saw them dressing up and leaving through the fence. A car was waiting outside. Mrs. Nadia's face darkened. She picked up her office phone immediately. Security, come to my office now. In minutes, the school was in an uproar. Authorities were contacted. The local police launched an investigation. Natalie and Natasha gave every detail they could remember. Meanwhile, inside the mansion, Amanda and Nyla were being held in a locked room, dark, cold, and silent. Amanda had cried until her throat went dry. Nyla was curled in a corner, silent and pale. The once bold girl had been shattered. It was supposed to be easy money, Nyla whispered hoarsely. They never told me what they really were. Amanda stared at her. Wait, you've been coming here. You didn't know? I thought they were just rich men who liked girls. Sleazy, yes, but never this. Amanda could barely breathe. She was dizzy, dehydrated, and terrified. Suddenly, the door creaked open. One of the old men walked in with a cruel smile. Time's almost up, he said. We've made the final arrangements. Amanda lunged at him with all her remaining strength, scratching and screaming, but he slapped her back hard, and she fell against the wall. Just as the men were preparing their so-called sacrifice ritual in the mansion's underground chamber, police sirens pierced the night. Dogs barked. Lights flashed. The compound lit up in chaos. The old men scrambled, cursing and running for their secret exit, but it was too late. The police had surrounded the entire property. In the chaos, two officers kicked open the room where Amanda and Nyla were being held. Both girls screamed and cried with relief. "You're safe now," one officer said gently as he wrapped Amanda in a blanket. "It's over." The next morning, the entire school gathered in silence as a police car arrived to drop Amanda and Nyla. Their once beautiful faces were pale and tired, but they were alive. Natalie and Natasha rushed to embrace Amanda, tears streaming down their faces. Mrs. Nadia addressed the school in a stern voice. "Let this be a warning to every girl. The world outside may seem beautiful, but it hides dangers beyond what you can imagine." Nyla was expelled from school, but before she left, she approached Amanda. "I'm sorry," she said with tears in her eyes. "I dragged you into something I didn't understand myself." Amanda didn't reply, but her eyes showed sadness. From that day on, Amanda no longer longed for the world outside the fence. She realized that freedom without wisdom is a trap. She focused on her books, her dreams, and her true friends, Natalie and Natasha, because sometimes the strongest girls are the ones who know when to say no.